The following chapter of Let's Get Deeper was released on the Great Mates Podcast on February 3rd, 2019. Hello and welcome back to the summer season of Great Mates Podcast. If you have never listened to us before and this is the first time you're listening to us, we are a bunch of young Australians usually talking about our lives in Australia, pop culture and the internet. If we have any questions that we get from the audience, we do our best to answer those as well. But in this summer season, we do things a little bit differently. Our schedule goes from being regular weekly stuff to a lot more irregular, and the content changes as well. And with this particular mini-series, as I'm calling it, we're going to be doing a little bit of a Q&A sort of thing with each of the Great Mates, and it's more about getting to know each one of us better, sort of. That's the entire goal of this little mini-series that I've created. So I'm Josh, and with me tonight I have got Jeimer. Hello. So by doing this episode, I have done an episode with every other
a one-on-one episode?
Yeah, a one-on-one.
You mean? Yeah,
with everyone. So finally we get to do this.
When did you finish everyone else's? Apart from mine, when was that? Like, you got the full set except for me.
Oh, I mean, like, in general, this is like this one-on-one with you completes every other one-on-one, because every other one-on-one I think I've done was in like the regular season.
Was that? Did you get everyone else's like by? Oh, you mean the end, like beginning of this year or something?
Nick.
Like midway through this year, I think.
It would have been, I think, as we started season 2. So when I came back from Com Games.
Oh, when was that?
I did, so April/May.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, pretty early in the year still.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's
December already.
Yeah, it's December when we're recording this, and who knows when this is going to be released.
True. Hello in the future.
Yes.
How is it? I hope you're still alive.
Wow.
Okay. Sorry, I don't mean to be bleak. It's December. It's Christmas time. We're all happy, right?
Yeah. Sure. Definitely. Anyway, I guess what I'll get you, Jeimer, to do is, for the listeners out there, tell them a little bit about yourself.
Oh, okay. So, I don't even know where to start. My name's Jeimer. It's a bit of an unorthodox name, but that's fine. Oh, funny thing about my name, or not really funny, I guess. You know, like how you go to, like, cashiers or whatever, or like you order a pizza and they ask for your name and stuff.
Yeah. The whole Starbucks, what's your name thing. Yeah.
Like any situation like that, I never use my actual name just because it's too much of a hassle to like spell it out. And every time I say it, they'll be like, "What? One more time? What?" So I just say a generic name that sounds similar, like Jeremy or James or Jamie or... I've been so many names, dude. I've probably been like 10. I've been Jeremiah as well. I've been called Jeremiah, which is weird.
Oh, okay.
But, sorry, tangent on my name, but yeah, you know, I am 20. I am studying occupational therapy in Western Australia, so I'm the only WA great mate.
Mm-hmm. And with that brings lovely scheduling logistic.
Oh, yeah, especially with daylight savings time.
Oh yeah, we're recording this in daylight savings, so
Yeah,
this is, you know. Well, okay. So for context, it doesn't matter for you and I because we don't observe daylight savings.
Yeah,
but,
that's right. I completely forgot. You don't as well.
Yeah. So Queensland, WA don't observe with daylight savings.
Yeah.
But
see, we're we're in the right mindset.
Yeah,
everyone else is
sane.
not
Everyone
doing
else
it right.
is. Yeah. Sorry, I have to bring this up again. Why the hell is South Australia half an hour ahead of me?
And an hour and a half.
Yeah,
like,
and then the weird like
me.
half.
I don't get it, dude.
Yeah.
Like time zones, I don't understand. But
you know,
just
what can we do?
Australia. It's too big and no one lives in it. But
fair enough. But yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to tell the listeners before we dive into the questions?
Dude, every time someone asks me to like tell them about myself, so I have no idea where to start. So what have I said? I work part-time as a support worker for kids with autism. So that's kind of cool.
Ooh.
I am super into like film, as in like movies and TV. Not so much TV nowadays, but still kind of. Looking forward to Game of Thrones. That's about it. Really into music as well. No particular genre, just like a whole bunch of different artists and whatever. Also into rock climbing, which I've been getting into in the past few months. And that's been really awesome, actually. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Sweet.
And that's about it.
Yeah. So basically I've given Jeimer a bunch of questions that we might get to talk about today. Depending where it goes, honestly. Like, you know, tangents are a thing that we work with
Tangents
on this
are a thing.
podcast. And it
that should be the description of our podcast. Just tangents.
Tangents are a thing.
Just one word.
Tangents. But then people might think we're a math podcast and we're not.
Oh man.
We'll
attract a different demographic, you know?
Yeah, get that. Yeah, I really want that STEM demographic.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, STEM would be great.
Broaden out.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, so I guess the first question that I'm going to ask is, what attracted you to doing occupational therapy?
Okay. Before I answer this, I think I have to address what occupational therapy is. So I'll be speaking about occupational therapy as OT, just because it's less syllables. Yeah. It's less of a mouthful. So OT, in like a really broad sense of what it is that, how do I even start? OT is all about helping people do the things that they want to do or need to do as independently as possible. And like, I know that's not really being specific or like not really giving a good idea about what do you call it? What OT actually is, but okay, like to break it down even further, it's like, think about the things that you do, the activities that you do every single day, and they don't have to be big things. They could be as small as waking up first of all in the morning, walking to the toilet to take a piss, and then going to the bathroom to like, I don't know, wash your hands and then brush your teeth or whatever. Those minuscule things in the day that people take for granted, a lot of people aren't able to do because of either disability or an accident which spawned a condition, or some terrible like instance of some random thing flaring up. So even the smallest things like brushing your teeth isn't feasible for some people, or from something as small as that to something as big as like driving a car or going to work and like actually working to earn money. All of those things like that we take for granted every single day, a lot of people aren't able to do. And the role of OT is to help them do those activities. And so it's not so much like other health professionals in the sense that, for example, like GPs or doctors or physios and all of that. A lot of what they're doing is that they aim to look at the underlying condition and then cure that, sort of treat that, manage that in a way. But what OT does is that it looks at the person as a whole, not just the condition, and it looks at what activities that they do in the day. So like, what do they actually do in the morning? Do they get up and take a piss and do all of that? What do they actually do for a job? They look at how that condition affects everything in their lives, and they work with that person to ensure, or at least try to ensure, that they can do those things as feasibly as possible and like to the best of their abilities and as independently as possible. And I think that's like what really attracted me to it, because it's sort of not really curing them as much as it is like, it's more of, I guess, like, to put it like in a pretentious way, but not really. It's like bringing meaning into people's lives, which is like an amazing thing to be able to do for a living, because like it not only brings meaning into their lives, but by being able to do that, it brings meaning into my life, which is what I sort of want to do with my life, if that makes sense. So I don't know, I just feel like it's a really awesome job. It's like a really awesome profession that doesn't really get its credit, and also not many people know about it. I think because of its name, a lot of people think, occupational therapy is about helping people like find jobs or like keep jobs and stuff. But the way that we use the word occupation is basically anything that occupies your time. It's like it's the definition of the word. Anything that occupies your time and that is of like significant meaning to your life. And something as little as brushing your teeth, it starts your whole day. And so not being able to do that really hinders lots of things in the day. And so something as minuscule as brushing your teeth or washing your face or something isn't like, it's just as significant as like being able to, I don't know, drive your car to pick up your kids and everything. So long-winded answer, but that's it.
I've had some people say to me like OT and like social work and counseling, we're sort of grouped into what was the term? They call it like the helping professions. That's sort of the way I sort of thought about like what OT was, is that we help the people and empower them and do all these sorts of things.
Exactly. I think that's a good way of looking at it, because it's not so much treating or like anything medical. I mean, a lot of what you do need medical knowledge, obviously, and like you need to know knowledge of the condition and like appropriate practices and like evidence-based practice and everything like that.
But I guess that's not the primary objective.
Exactly, no.
The profession.
Primary objective is like to essentially like increase quality of life and make sure that they're able to engage in the activities that are actually meaningful to them. And that's pretty cool.
And I guess that leads on to really well into the next question, is like that obviously drives you in some way. Is that what drives you, motivates you?
I don't know. Not really.
Okay.
Do you mean like, does OT, is that the thing that drives me like day to day?
Yeah. I guess I guess the
short answer for that is no. Like OT isn't the thing that drives me on my day to day. Honestly, I don't really know if I'm like too much of a driven person or like a motivated person. Because like I'm not super motivated most of the time. I mean, like,
interesting.
I'm pretty reliable in terms of like I do my work and like I study enough. I dedicate time to friends. Like I go rock climbing, watch movies, listen to music, blah blah blah. But I sort of feel like I'm always giving my like 70% of myself to whatever I'm doing. Maybe it's because I haven't found something that's like bringing me to give 100% of myself, or maybe that's just who I am as a person. But I'm sort of like okay with that. Like I don't really feel the need to be driven. I know that sounds so lazy, but like I don't know. Like I think that like a meaningful but tranquil life is something that I'm pretty content with. Like having like lots of substance in my day to day, but not being like maniac motivated and everything. But yeah, I guess like the main motivator that does guide my sort of like how I live is like doing the most amount of good in the limited amount of time that I have, while enjoying myself. I guess that's the main thing. The key is while enjoying myself. Yeah.
Okay.
I've always had that, like this mindset of like using myself to minimize the pain around me, but also maximize meaning. And so that's like, that philosophy sort of ties into OT, but it does tie into like how I live my day to day, I guess.
Okay. Wow, that's so interesting. just so for context, I've done like this Q&A thing. Jeimer is the third person I'm doing it with, but the responses so far to that question have been very different for each one, and it'll be interesting to sort of listen through and then reflect on it at the very end of this mini series to see. But yeah,
listen to all of them.
I mean, I am editing everything, so.
No, I'm talking to the listener.
Oh yeah, no, do listen to
listen to all.
Listen to all of them, because everyone is gonna have a different answer to this.
Yeah.
And if you want to leave feedback on what you think, feel free to do so.
At GR8 Podcast.
Yeah, we'll drop that social now. So dear. Oh boy. Okay. Given that you have you have a lot of keen interest in film and in music, I did drop this question to you. So
yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
What are the 5 films and 5 artists that someone should watch or listen to get to know you best, and why those?
Okay. I always hate it when people limit it to like 5 films or like 5 artists. People have cheated on a similar sort of question. So you can do more, you can do less. Yeah, no, that's fine. I tried to come up with 5 for each.
Okay.
So these 5 movies that I'm about to say, they I guess in a way they as like a whole. They all consolidate into like I don't even know what I want to say. Like the themes and the philosophies that are found in each one, they all come together. All 5 of them, they all come together in a way that I guess represent me, who I am. I don't know, because that's what the question's asking, I guess. But
yeah.
The 5 movies that I'm just going to list them off. Yeah, About Time, Short Term 12, Begin Again, Amelie, and The Way, Way Back. And so all 5 of those, they say things about time. So like as like a human being on this earth, how, our relationship with time and everything. They say things about vulnerability. They say things about the power of music. They say things about quiet expression. So like sort of as like an introvert, being able to express yourself in a way that's not appropriate, but like that's a way that is in a way that appropriately expresses what you want to express. So quiet expression in that sense. And the last bit is maturity. So not letting your age. Jeez. I'm sorry.
Bless you.
Oh my god. No, that was a cough.
Coughing fit.
Yeah. So not letting your age like sort of determine your growth and your maturity. So those 5 things, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. And for music, I chose 5 artists that I just are like somewhere in my top 10, but I just chose a random like sort in that top 10 to like put into 5 artists. So the first is Frank Ocean, because just because that guy is insane. Like I always think that music is music is an avenue by which your soul is able to express itself in ways words can't. And I think that Frank Ocean is an artist that most accurately depicts the state of his soul, if that makes sense. And so that's like a super pretentious way of like explaining his music, but it's true. Like listen to his music, listen to his albums and everything. It's like his lyrics are lyrics that you have to dissect and digest over and over again, and they just get better each time. Second artist is Mumford & Sons, and like that's like the super white part of me coming out. But I don't care. They're like a band that I just love and I have for like the longest time. Kanye West, because he's a little kid who loves his mum. Florence and the Machine. Florence and the Machine is one of the bands that I fell in love with really early on, and one of the bands that led me to build my music taste as it is right now, basically. So they were part of like a foundation, I guess, like the foundation of my music taste. And Tyler, the Creator, because how do I say this? Jeez, sorry, dude, this whole podcast is just me trying to speak, like, literally. He is an example of individuality that I strive for. And so, yeah, that's basically it.
Okay. Cool. That is like a pretty diverse mix.
Yeah, I think it is. That's like my music taste, though. It's anytime someone asks, "What do you listen to?" I'm like, "Oh, how much time do you have?"
You might want to sit down for this.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like looking for good music and looking for music that actually means something to you is so important. Like not just listening to the radio, but actually going out and looking for those artists, looking for those specific songs that like are able to, get you going through the day, or like able to appropriately express an emotion that you're trying to express but you can't. And so that's so important, because expression is important.
Definitely. Okay. Wow, we're really flying through these.
Plowing through them. By the way, sorry, message to the listener. I told Josh I was so tired, and so this podcast might be a bit shorter.
It might be a bit shorter, but it also explains why, Jeimer sometimes can't articulate properly.
Come up with words in English.
What is English?
I don't know, man.
Speaking of, I hate how I'm threading this question in using that. Okay, so I don't know if a lot of people know, because I've asked. Okay, so for context, I have asked a few of my in real life friends who do listen to this podcast. Shout out to you guys if you are listening to this episode. To figure out whose voice belongs to which face.
Oh my god.
And it's been interesting to see who says who, especially amongst the boys. But for context, Jeimer, how do I English this properly? Without it being...
Just say it.
Just say it.
I don't care.
Which kind of Asian Australian are you?
Okay. No, I've been asked that question heaps. Which kind of Asian Australian am I?
Yes.
That's the question? Okay.
That's the first part to the bigger question that I'm gonna pose.
Well,
just the short answer is fine for now.
Just short answer, okay. So my dad's side is Chinese and my mum's side is Indonesian. But I guess I just say I'm Indonesian whenever someone asks me. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just interesting, just because people have mixed you and Brandon together, because apparently you both have the same voice.
I don't think so. I still don't think it. Neither does he. We sound so different.
Yeah, we both sound so different.
At all. Yeah.
I don't know how people confuse you or
We
Brandon.
even have like really different mics because he has like an expensive mic
quality.
I'm still using like my headphone mics. Yeah.
I have struggled to figure out between you and Brandon. But what's funnier is
really?
I've struggled to figure out why people confuse you and Brandon.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But what's funny is I've had a friend tell me that apparently they confused you and Nick.
Me and Nick? Whoa.
Yeah, which is such a weird thing.
That's even weirder because his accent is so much stronger than mine.
Yeah.
And I have like really weird like vocal patterns or whatever you call it. But he's a lot more like literate than me, I would say.
Yeah. I would say that too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I guess in terms of mic quality, him and me would be like a bit more similar, but that's the only thing.
Yeah. I just don't know how, but anyway. This is a segue to the larger question of what is your experience being Asian Australian? What does that term mean to you?
Okay. I'm gonna just say it like I have no idea. Like what my like actual experiences or like what it honestly means to me. Because I don't know, like it's awesome like being able to grow up and speak 3 languages and like being able to eat really good food that you can't really find anywhere else apart from your own home, because your parents cook and everything. But it's like not something that I think about too much. I don't know, like I don't really think about like backgrounds or anything too much. I guess I'm a lot more like present and future oriented than past. Maybe that's why I don't really think about background. I'm not sure though. But yeah, it's not something I think about too much, and it's not something that I try and distance myself from. Like it's absolutely not that. Like I'm really proud to be Asian and all of like the little things that come with it, but I don't put too much importance on it, if that makes sense. So yeah, like not putting too much significance on being Asian Australian. Not because I'm not proud of it. Again, I'm so proud, but it's like I don't know. Like I just live my day to day, and some people might think that it's me being ignorant to my culture, but what I mean by that is just like, I just tend to focus more on myself as like an individual. As in, I don't really define myself by my Asian Australian background. Just because, I don't know, like, if you know those tests that you can take, like you take a cotton swab and then put it in like a test tube and then send it off, then they give you like your ancestry and everything.
Yeah.
It always comes, like, I've never taken it, but like every single person that I've seen take it has always gotten like 50% this, 30% this, 10%, 5%, blah, 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 blah. And it's always muddled. There's no 100% this or whatever. There's no like, there's not even like 99% whatever. It's just, if you look back through our history, every single person is like an amalgamation of so many different parts of the world, to a point where I feel like there's not too much. Man, how do I phrase this? Like, there's not too much, like, there shouldn't be too much stress on labeling yourself as a certain thing, because your DNA is all mixed up, man. And so I just tend to define myself by me, by Jeimer. Like, that's who I am first and foremost, Jeimer. Like, I, hang out with friends, I do OT, I am having a practical placement in a hospital and everything, I go rock climbing, listen to music, watch movies, eat food. That's just me, and I'm made up of like 10%, 5%, 15%, 20%, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That's just like how I think about it.
Yeah.
And like, once again, it's like not me trying to distance myself from my background, because it's absolutely not. Like, I just went to Bali. Like, if you, like, just last week, which is basically my background, like my culture, and I loved it. But living my day to day, it's more so focused on myself. Yeah.
Okay. Sweet. Yeah, it's interesting. And again, we'll find out at the end of this mini series what everyone else has to say. But yeah, it's interesting to sort of get that perspective as well. Because we obviously are very different. We have different thoughts on, how it defines us, and if we choose to define ourselves by it. But
yeah, absolutely.
Seeing as Jeimer really wants, for the sake of time.
No, it's alright, dude.
And for the sake of his sanity, we'll make sure we'll try and wrap up soon. But
thank you.
There's just a few more questions. So, do you have any goals that you want to set for 2019? And I guess just for people that are listening, we are recording in December 2018.
Yeah.
So this is sort of like a little time capsule, and we'll see what happens.
Time capsule
next year. Yeah.
Any goals for 2019?
Yeah, that you want to set. They can be big, they can be small.
Yeah, I'm really bad with goals, actually. But I guess most clear one would be to graduate, because I'm meant to graduate by the end of next year. So hopefully that's going to come through. If not, then
that's okay.
It's fine.
Just gotta push through.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do another year, and that's all. I think I want to eat a bit healthier, because I've just been eating like trash this whole year, and so I want to watch what I eat more. I want to keep rock climbing as well. That's something that I think if I dedicate more time to, I can actually feel a lot healthier and like just get more enjoyment out of my day to day, because I'll be healthier, more energetic and everything. And I think that if I keep on doing that, it'll what am I trying to say? It'll set me up basically for like the week. Like if I get a good session in and everything, it's like going to the gym, but actually fun.
Yeah.
Oh, what else? Jeez. I wanna dedicate more time to friends and family. Even though I have a lot this year, I think I can do a bit more. Hopefully without burning out, but we'll see. I also wanna somehow get involved in some filmmaking projects. Because like just as like a side thing, because I recently joined the Perth filmmaking community, and they post like heaps of stuff on Facebook. So hopefully I can like just get something like as small as like a crap PA gig or something. I just want to be around a film set and like see what that's like. Yeah. And get involved somehow in something creative that I'm actually passionate about. Yeah. So that'll be awesome.
Okay.
Is there anything else? Oh, I have a few concerts that I'm actually going to. So I'm not sure if those are goals. But I mean, I guess they're just like something to look forward to. So that'll be awesome.
Look forward to. Yeah. And it's like a, treat yourself sort of thing.
Yeah. I guess goal is treat myself. Even though every year I fulfill that goal. But,
I mean, it's good.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
And moving on from that, is there something that you would want to say to your younger self? And what would that be? And I guess by extension, if there was, someone that is listening that is is in the same sort of similar circumstances that you were when you were younger. It doesn't have to be, like a kid, last, like you at 18 or 19. Like, if there was something you could say to that person, what would it be?
Man, I thought about this answer a lot, and I don't know which younger self I would be talking to, because like looking back, I was a completely different person when I was 10 versus 12 versus 14, 16, 18. Like where I was at each of those different points is completely different to the rest. But I guess one common thing across all of them would be, I would say, grow up. And I don't mean that in like a mean way. I guess kind of a mean way. But I was really, really lazy. Not super lazy, because I still did work, but I wouldn't be willing to pick up slack where it needed to be picked up. Okay. And it was easy for me to place blame on others for my own shortcomings. So I guess that would be one more bit of advice, or something I would say, is like, just stop placing blame on others for your own shortcomings, because some things are obviously your own fault and you could have done something about it, but you chose not to because you're on your fat ass playing video games and stuff. I guess also take on some responsibility, like actual responsibility that you're... I'm trying to think of another word for responsible, but that you're actually, responsible for. Bear some weight and carry that for as much as you can, because there's so many benefits to taking on a responsibility and, sort of growing from that as a person. And that's how a lot of people do grow. And that's how I think I grow the most, is taking on as much as I can and learning from all of those experiences. And even though things do seem like a lot, you're a tough cookie, Jeimer. That's what I'm going to say.
Okay.
Basically.
Okay, cool. And I guess before we start wrapping up, there's one other question I sort of am throwing to everyone is, why'd you say yes to doing this podcast in general?
To Great Mates?
Great Mates to Great Mates.
Oh man, yeah, okay. That's such a good question. I guess I was still riding the high. That was we stayed late. Shout out to the Slack. If there's anyone listening to this that is in the Slack, oh my goodness. Hello.
It's been a time.
It's been a time. I think it's been more than a year. So
Yeah.
I think I left like halfway through last year. Jeez, that was a long time ago. Man, I want to listen to one of their podcasts now. Because, yeah. Hi, Star. Hi, Louise. Hi, Spencer. Okay, why did I say yes? I guess I just thought it would be cool to, like, try something new. Like, try making a podcast, try doing something. And that it was... Yeah, this is what it was as well. Like, the way say, like, Slack, it fulfilled a lot of the creative buttons that I didn't have being pushed in my life. And starting a podcast was, like, just another thing that allowed me to... It was, like, an avenue for me to fulfill my creative desires, even though at the time I didn't... Yeah, because at the time I didn't have anything to do that. And so... This basically gave me an avenue for that. And plus, I wanted to, like, get to know everyone a bit more.
Oh, yeah.
As in, like, the great mates and everything.
Yeah.
And I just thought, you know, like, the benefits of starting a podcast with you guys far outweighed the risks, I guess. That's one way of looking at it. As in, like, better do it than not to. Because I felt like if I didn't do it, I would have regretted it. But if I did do it, if things turned out badly, then that's fine because I could just leave. Yeah. But things could have turned out well, and they did. Well, I think they did. Like, I'm pretty happy with the result, even though we have a pretty modest following. But I'm happy, and I'm happy I did it. And I got to know you guys, and it's nice. Yeah.
It's a nice.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I guess, I don't know. See, people who have listened for a while will know the ranking, of how I've ranked my kids.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I've accepted it.
Okay.
I'll just own up to the fact that, you know, and it's a running joke that I have is like, yeah, I'm a single dad to 6 kids aged, 19 to 23.
Yeah.
Bound to freak people out, but it's funny to do it that way.
You had a child when you were 3 or 4.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just, I guess, Jeimer, I guess I have, because of the nature of how the podcast have ended up, I haven't had, and I haven't done the solo ep with you until now.
I mean, I haven't had proper time. I think out of everyone, except for maybe Anastasia.
Yeah, Anastasia.
I think I'm like talk the least or like spend the least time on the podcast, which I'm always feeling really bad about because you guys are always doing so much work, and there's always me just like, oh my god, I'm too tired. I have no time. Yeah, and time zones as well. I'm still 3 weeks behind in life. Yeah.
So it's been, I guess, more interesting to see what comes up whenever you're on, because it's always interesting, and because I've never gotten to know you as well as I have the others. Right. This episode has been really good to sort of, you know, get to know you better, and hopefully the listeners have benefited from that too. But yeah, it's been good to sort of, even though you haven't been on as much, it's been interesting to sort of get your perspective on stuff.
Yeah. I hope I can do an actual episode again. Sometime soon.
Soon. We live in hope.
Yeah. God.
Oh gosh. But yeah, it's been a pretty good year and a half to see everyone sort of grow. And yeah, we'll see what happens 2019.
Yeah. Bring on 2019. I'm ready. I want to leave 2018 behind. Goodbye.
Yeah. So we are going to wrap up now, and I'll get Jeimer to let you guys, the listeners, know where you can find him if you want to find him.
Oh, right. I'm on Instagram at JMRNG, and that's about it.
You do have a Twitter, but
oh my god, I haven't opened it in so long. I don't even remember my Twitter handle.
Oh my god.
Is it just Jeimer? I don't know.
Jeimer NG.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess you guys can check that out too, but I don't use it.
But he doesn't post there anyway, so Insta's the best. Insta's the best to get to know Jeimer.
Not even, dude. I don't post my face.
Few and far between. At least you'll get to see where he's been and what he's been doing.
I guess so.
And if you want to come find me, I'm basically everywhere. Find me at Abangpinoy, ABANGPINOY. For the other great mates, listen to their own one-on-one Q&A episodes, or listen to our past episodes on Wooshka, or wherever you can sub to our podcast. iTunes, Spotify, Google Play. Yeah, literally everywhere. If you want to leave us a rating and review on iTunes, please do so, because we want more 5-star reviews and feedback. Because, we want to make Great Mates better for 2019. The future season 3 that's coming up.
Make Great Mates great again.
Oh my god. I'm really hesitant to make merch that would say that.
It's all good.
Oh my goodness. But anyway, if you want to hit us up on socials, we can be found on Twitter and Instagram as Great Mates Podcast. GR8 M8S Podcast. Leave us questions, either on our Insta, slide into our DMs, or use the hashtag Great Mates Podcast as well. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today's Q&A episode. Thank you, Jeimer.
No worries, thank you.
You finally completed my set.
Yeah.
Of,
your collection.
My collection of one-on-one episodes. And hopefully maybe 2019 will yield maybe a Great Mates meetup in Perth.
Oh my god. Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe. But
maybe
honestly,
I'm gonna fly over. Ooh.
Oh, actually, yeah. The ultimate goal is we've discussed this on previous episode. You are our golden snitch. So once someone meets you, the game is over.
Oh my god.
That is how much effort it has to take to get to WA.
Is that what everyone's been saying for the end of year? I mean, the 2019 goal. Just to see Jeimer.
Yeah. Maybe Tourism WA can hit us up with that sweet spawn. That would be amazing.
That would be crazy. Yeah.
That'd be great. But yeah, that's going to be it. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you on maybe another episode on this mini-series in summer. Catch us on our old episodes, and we'll see you in season 3. Bye!
Bye!